I'm Tali Campbell in Nanaimo.
And I'm Christopher Munns-Micklin in Victoria.
And this is INET Online Tali Campbell Report special on the snow that has hit Vancouver Island. It's cold out here. Most Vancouver Island cities were put on a standstill because of the snow. Nanaimo was not one of them, but Victoria sure was. We're going to go back to Victoria where Christopher Munns-Micklin is standing by. Chris.
Thank you, Tali. Well, on average it snows once, twice, maybe 3 times in any given year here in Victoria. And because it snows so infrequently, and because the snow sticks around for such a little amount of time, drivers and people across the city have little to no experience in dealing with the snow, and consequently, when it does happen to snow, the entire city essentially shuts down. The view from the INET webcam on January 16th, 2012. But what a difference 24 hours can make. On the 17th of January 2012, Victoria, BC, Canada got hit with its first real blast of winter for the 2011-2012 season, and the reaction from the public was no surprise. Whenever there is a snow incident on the south coast of Vancouver Island, all havoc breaks loose. Accidents occur along every major highway, and schools across the city can close. On January 17th, here in Saanich, only about 5 centimeters of snow actually fell. Peanuts for most Canadian residents, but here in Victoria, it is an awfully big deal.
Good evening. Another blast of wintry weather has smacked the capital region overnight. The snowfall warnings for now have been dropped, but southern Vancouver Island has had another brush with winter.
Even Victoria is feeling it. A fresh dump of snow could be 5 centimeters deeper in a day as the storm system battering Seattle will reach a little north while missing most of BC.
Good evening. Much of Vancouver Island's under a blanket of snow tonight as this latest winter storm moves past us, leaving a trail of car crashes and down power lines.
The extent of the snow catastrophe became clear to me when I turned on my police scanner that evening.
Just an update. Hydro is on scene, cutting power to the affected poles. ETA for us, 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, David, I've been trying to call you because Bob said the driver that picked up Joseph this morning nearly went over the cliff driving up Florence Lake Road or down Florence Lake Road, so I'm thinking we can't go there.
We've got always on scene here. They're indicating that most of the streets in the city are like this right now. Do we normally just contact the media and let them know so that maybe fewer people will be driving in this?
One thing with 31 for the yard as well in the morning. Signpost on the island, which is actually on Cary Road at Glamford, is laying on the side of the road. That's what was struck the second time here.
27 Echo, call takers requesting this is a code 3 response. I realize the road conditions are not ideal. Please make your best time.
If January 17th was bad, then the 18th was a walking nightmare because it snowed and snowed and snowed. This was the scene on the Trans-Canada Highway at 7:45 a.m. The only fortunate thing this day was that traffic was much lighter than the previous day, meaning fewer accidents overall. Out in Langford, some 14 kilometers away from downtown Victoria, a lot of snow fell. Over 8 inches of the white stuff, in fact, and road crews struggled to keep the streets clear. Back in town, all schools in Victoria and Saanich were closed as the snow continued to fall, but public transit service was the one notable exception to the anarchy that settled over Victoria. Buses were running pretty well, with a couple of expected cancellations. In fact, the transit service between Victoria and Langford was actually better than on some fair weather days. Now, as the day wore on, morning leading into afternoon, and afternoon becoming evening, the snow situation on Vancouver Island's south coast began to stabilize. By 12 in the afternoon, new snow had actually stopped falling, and by the time I got off work at approximately 3:30, most roads, even some of the side streets, were actually passable. Now that we've seen the situation here in Victoria over the past couple of days, let's cross over to Tali Campbell, who's standing by in Nanaimo, who has some information on what the situation has been like just over an hour north of here. Tali.
Thank you, Chris. Like you said, lots of snow hit Victoria, and it was pretty much on a standstill. Schools were closed. Here in Nanaimo, it's different stories. Now, we're just going to show you right now. The snow has pretty much gone away now. It's turned to slush. but you know, it was turned it's about 16 centimeters in some parts of Nanaimo. School District 68 was remained open, sadly. Vancouver University was closed, so the city was a flip-flop, still a lot of drivers. But like I said, the temperatures are now warming up, so now it's turning into slush, rain is coming. Right now, though, on my BlackBerry, it's telling me here in Nanaimo that we are at 0 degrees with a few clouds. So no snow, no rain right now, at 0 degrees. The forecast temperature is to get warmer and wetter, so as for those who do not like snow, it's a good sign, but more slushiness. But if snow does come back into factor, we'd like to remind everyone to please drive safely and stay off the roads if they can, because it can be dangerous. I know across Vancouver Island there were a lot more collisions that ICBC reported. Anyways, from Nanaimo, I'm Tali Campbell.